Nou, we zijn hier in Amsterdam aanbeland en we zijn hier bij Warner Bros. Vandaar dat je een van de figuren van Looney Tunes naast me ziet staan. Dit heeft echter niets te maken met de game. We zijn hier bij Warner Bros. Omdat we de nieuwste Terminator game gaan checken, Terminator Salvation. We hebben zometeen een speelsessie en tevens een interview. En we laten jou weten wat we van deze aankomende game vinden. First of all, can you shortly introduce yourself?
Sure, my name's Lazouras. I'm the president of Halcyon Games.
I think most people know what Terminator is about. There were movies in the past and games, but this will be the first Terminator game on the current game consoles. But what's the story about? You play again as Connor, but is there a link with the past?
Well, it's set 2 years before the film. It's interesting because it leads on. The next movie leads on from the events of Terminator 3, but it's a decade later, and obviously we're 2 years before that. So we're explaining a lot of things that character arcs and behaviors of various characters to Connor when you pick up the film. There are two characters that star in the movie, played by Connor, by Common and Moon Bloodgood, that feature in the game. And they explain why various people are in Connor's inner circle, and the events of why LA has been evacuated and what's really going on with Skynet. So.
Yeah, there's going to be the Terminator Salvation movie as well. What can you tell us about the playable characters? Will all the characters playable we are going to see in the movie?
Yeah, so obviously John Connor is the core character that you play, and in co-op you utilize Moon Bloodgood's character Blair Williams, and she's always part of your, even in the single player campaign, she's part of your resistance squad, which expands and contracts, so it can be up to 8-9 other characters, but it's always Connor and Blair Williams. The Halcyon company is the IP and rights holder to the franchise and is producing the film. So it really kind of afforded us this situation where I think it's pretty unique in a game based on a movie where the same company was making the movie and set up a game production company. And brought Grin Studios, the developer in Sweden, in right from the inception as the movie was was going into pre-production. They were working side by side with the game development group. They sat in the same location, for several months at the beginning, and created a lot of things together. Simultaneously influenced each other, all that sort of stuff. So it's really kind of. The synergy behind this is incredible, and the tone and atmosphere and the look and everything of the game is identical to the film.
The game is a third-person action game. What can you tell us about the weapons and enemies?
Well, obviously every Terminator that you can see in the film is going to appear in the game. So there's everything from the T-600, which is the endoskeleton. At this point in the franchise, it's this 7.5, 8 foot thing. So the bigger the enemy, the actual lower in technology. So it's all about miniaturization. We have the Moto Terminators, the Harvester, which is this 60 foot robot. The HK, the flying HK, as well as the HK tank and aerostats. So there's a big array of characters. We also developed something specifically for the game, which was the T7T, and now that's part of the universe. So, and again, at this point in the storyline, plasma technology hasn't been miniaturized, so there's no plasma rifles yet. So the Resistance are using conventional weaponry that you'll see today. And then also, if they get access to plasma cannons that have been developed, that changes up a lot of things.
Earlier this morning you told us you're constantly a part of a squad. And on a certain moment it's going to change because you're not immediately going as a leader of the squad. At what point is that going to change?
Yeah, so again, 2 years before the film, where you pick up Connor in this game is the events that he grew up believing would happen aren't necessarily happen that way. So the future isn't set is really the main message here. So he's on the verge of giving up by the time the game starts. You're a resistance soldier. You're not leading the resistance at this point. So in the beginning of the game, when you have a squad, you're kind of following. The squad behavior and the squad AI is, we spend a lot of time working on this behavior, that it will subtly change as you become, progressing through the game and you're becoming more and more kind of the leader of this squad. Their behavior will change. They will look to you to achieve objectives and really kind of set the pace and all that sort of stuff. But throughout the game, they will strategically reposition themselves, understand what you're doing as a player, and try and get into the best position they can in order to achieve a combat scenario. So it's a gradual and subtle change in AI throughout the game, but it's really cool the way even like the dialogue changes slightly, where they start ordering you, at the beginning to receiving orders from you and kind of approaching you in a different way.
We hebben net de nieuwste Terminator game gespeeld, Terminator Salvation. Een game die zal uitkomen voor de PlayStation 3 en Xbox 360 op 27 mei. Tevens hebben we een interview gedaan. De speelsessie was in ieder geval erg tof. De game belooft gemiddeld een betere game te worden dan de filmgames die we tot nog toe gezien hebben. En ik moet zeggen dat dat tot nog toe er redelijk goed uitziet. Je hebt offline een co-op functie. Het is een third-person action spel waarbij je de hele tijd met je squad moet samenwerken. Dus ook strategische elementen zien we in deze game verwerkt. En dat ziet er gewoon allemaal erg tof uit.